Good morning. Welcome. Tech for Senior this morning. Hewie 286.
This is great. I wouldn't know what to do on a Monday if we didn't have the show.
That's right. And it is September the 29th. And it is, of course, National Coffee Day, as we mentioned earlier. So all of you who have had a nice cup of coffee this morning, it is National Coffee Day. Welcome, and we have a great show for you today. We have a huge show for you today, so I'm not going to talk very long because we want to get going, or we'll be here till a lot longer than we need to be. So,
Thursday.
so we got to get moving. But I do want to remind everybody that we've made some changes to the website, and so if you want to watch our Monday show, you'll see it on our website now, as well as our newsletter and all the past editions is all there for you. So if you for some reason you can't or won't subscribe to our newsletter, you can also see it on our website. All right, let's move. Oh, and by the way, for the premiere version today for our video, Chris Gould's going to talk about how to make movies with Google Photos. I'm going to talk about the same thing we're going to be playing today. I'm playing the video that is on our Premiere Vision. Premiere Video will be probably playing that. And Huey's going to tell us how to make a YouTube playlist. An excellent video. And I think it's something we sometimes forget how to do. And so he's going to tell us how to do that all on coming at 1/2 Huey had a big purchase this week. He's so excited. He has a Pixel 8 Pro now. He's made the leap from Samsung to Google.
Till
There you
10.
go.
A
You said
10.
8.
Oh, 10. Sorry, 10. Right. Excellent.
The, the,
Excellent.
the Pro XL, the big one.
Right. So you are,
And and T-Mobile had a heck of a deal. I couldn't turn it down.
you couldn't turn it down. Right.
It's normally $1,199. They had it marked down to $999.99. And my trade-in value on my Samsung was $999.99. I couldn't turn that down.
Only available in Florida in Bradenton, right?
I, I had to change plans. So the
Yeah.
plan might cost me $10 more a month, I think, something like
Right.
that.
Very good. Well, we look forward to some exciting stuff from that new phone. And Bill James, of course, is looking rather dapper today. That's because he's on his iPad, sitting in his backyard, enjoying the sun. And I always say, man, the Apple sure does a good job because you look just great there, and it's pretty good. But he's also got his Android phone with him as well. As I told you, he's a multi-dexterous guy. He's working Apple and Android and Windows. I don't know how you do it. You're so smart.
Well, it just keeps my mind occupied, but I just couldn't resist. It's a beautiful day, and so I thought I'd take advantage of the Wi-Fi and my iPad and come sit out on the patio and enjoy the show and the wonderful weather we're having here in Oklahoma.
There's nothing like natural lighting. I mean, it's so good. It's just really good. Natural lighting really is
Yeah,
amazing. It really
and
is good.
as you have your devices, you can just be mobile. You don't have to be tied down to a desk or any particular room. Enjoy the outdoors and
That's right.
yeah.
And Mike Leaman, you are looking pretty good. Are you looking at where are we looking out over the water? You're in Moncton, New Brunswick, of course.
Yeah, that's
And
actually a little bit south of me here. We've got an area along the Fundy coast called the Fundy Trail Parkway, which is one of our unsung, undiscovered gems in this province. It's a scenic drive. It's about 25 kilometers long, and it's certainly worth doing. There's all kinds of scenic overviews and tremendous views. And the best part about it is at the end of it, in a little town called St. Martin's, there are some excellent seafood restaurants. Some of the
ooh,
best seafood chowder you'll ever have.
ooh. All right, very good. Well, now I'm getting hungry, darn it.
Yeah, me too.
Me too. Yeah. So anyway, Mike's got a big presentation for us today. So we got to get on with the show or we'll never get to the end. So all right. The first video I want to play for you today is one I've done. It just came out. It's about one of the things I'm going to be doing is doing 5 videos now about how seniors can use AI And this is all about booking your Alaska dream cruise of a vacation and using Notebook LM for it. So let's have a look and see what I have to say. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. Today I want to talk about using AI as a senior. Now I've created a course that has 10 episodes in it using AI for the over 50. If you haven't seen that, I'll put the playlist in the link below. I'm going to make a further 5 videos and add that to the existing 10. And these are practical applications that seniors can use AI for. AI is not difficult. This is something you should be doing every day. I'm going to give you some practical uses for this, and I'm going to give you a specific AI product that will help you with this. So we're going to choose 5 different topics, 5 different AI programs that you can use, and 5 different videos. So today we're going to focus on travel, and we're going to use Notebook LM. I'm going to give you some specific travel information and why this is so beneficial for traveling. And hey, seniors like to travel. So this is something you should be using because it's going to give you some great research opportunity to get the best information to book your future trip. So let me show you how this works. We'll start with Notebook LM. And before we start the program, I would appreciate that like and subscribe. All the work we do at Tech for Senior is based on volunteer work, and it really does help us if you subscribe. So let's get on with the program. I'm going to show you how, using some travel information, you can use Notebook LM to get the best results. All right, the first example I'm going to use is Notebook LM. Now this is a free product. It's made by Google. It is AI. I have done a complete video on how to use Notebook LM, but it is super simple. I'll briefly go over it now for you. And what we're going to do is talk about travel. This is an application where we're going to use Notebook LM to do research for us on an upcoming cruise that I want to do with my wife. Now I've created some fictitious information that we're going to add in here, and I'm going to show you how easy this is and how practically applicable this will be for seniors traveling. And it's something you could easily do yourself. So you'll see behind me here on the screen, we have, of course, Notebook LM. Now this, on the left-hand side, you'll see sources. In the middle, you'll see this is where the information is displayed, and on the right side is sort of the magic sauce, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. But what we want to do is find information out. Let me just show you how this is going to work. So we're going to go here, and we're going to come to the center here, and I'm going to upload a source. Now, what a source is it's, of course, data that we're going to use to create the information we want. Now, you could have brochures, you could have websites, you could have some preconceived ideas of what you want about this cruise that we're going to take to Alaska. Now, if you don't have that, you can come up here to the right and just discover sources. And when I click this, it says, what are you interested in? Now, I'm just going to copy and paste this so you don't have to see me type it all in. And the information that we're going to provide is, I would like to take a cruise from Seattle to Alaska in the summer of 2026 for 10 to 14 days. We are both seniors and would like to know which cruise line would give us the best care. I have atrial fibrillation and require a weekly blood test, and my wife has arthritis in her hip and requires a wheelchair. I am 73 and she is 70. What special services are available for people with disabilities, and what is the availability to get my blood tested? Please suggest the best cruise line based on the summer schedule of 2026 to Alaska. Now, of course, find the sources from the web, or we can find, or if we have If we have sources such as brochures, PDF files, and that sort of thing, we could upload them from Google Drive. Now, the first thing here is, I don't know where all this information is. I know that the web is a great big repository of information, but how am I going to find all those darn sources? How am I going to find the information I need to make the best decision? Well, let me show you how easy it is. You see this little button here called Submit? Watch what happens. I click this, and it's going to go out now, and it's going to look for all the sources pertaining to my query. Okay, so watch it come up here, and it's going to do its little magic dance, and it's going to come up, and here are all the sources. And you can choose if you want. I'm just going to accept them all. I usually just accept them all. And now we're going to hit import, and this imports them on the left side into ℎ𝕝𝕝𝕉. Now what it's doing here is it's taking all this data that is found, it's bringing it into this particular project we're doing, and it's indexing it all to make it super easy for you to find. All right, so it's just about finished here. It's going to finish off loading up the last little PDF file from Holland America, and it should come up with our information. All right, accessible cruising, mobility, and medical services. All the information is here for you, and this gives you a brief summary in the center here. These sources collectively provide information on cruise line, accessibility, medical services, and regulations for elderly. Okay, now I want you to think of yourself as being in a library. Think of yourself sitting there in a library, and on the left-hand side of you is a big case of books. Lots of books, lots of information there, and that is what ℎ𝕝𝕝𝕉 is done for you. On the left-hand side, you'll see your case of books. All those sources on the left-hand side here are all big amounts of data that they're all sitting there. And if you want to add more sources, there's 10 here, but if you want to add more, there's a plus add here, or you can go back and discover some more. If you don't have quite enough information, or you want to focus in more, it'll go and find more sources for you. So you can add to this, and you could put 20, 30, 40, 50 sources in here if you wanted, if you weren't finding the information. But this is, let me tell you, this is a lot of information, all right? And now so now we're going to come back, and this is just a summary here. This is just a summary of what it's done for you. You can now access this information on the left-hand side. So the first question I want to ask it is, hey, can the ship measure my INR? I've got atrial fibrillation, I'm on Coumadin, and I require a blood test. So let's ask it that, and let's see what it comes up with. So immediately I just I type that in, and I'm going to click search, and it's going to come up with an answer. Let's see what it comes up with. Okay, let's have a look what it says. Onboard medical facilities. Cruise ships have medical staff and facilities on board. These are typically more like an infirmary or a walk-in medical clinic. Staffing Royal Caribbean ships, for example, have licensed international and domestic physicians along with nurses 24/7. Equipment and testing comes down here, advanced notification. A key consideration, the primary role of onboard medical services is to stabilize patients in emergencies, and you can come down here and it provides all the information that you would need to answer that question. It's interesting to note in my practice for this presentation, this of course is the second time I've done this, and on the original ℎ𝕝𝕝𝕉 that I did, it did come up with, yes, some of the cruise lines actually have INR testing on their cruise lines, and they in fact have outpatient facilities that you can do it, and the cost is anywhere between $70 to $100 per test. So it is definitely possible to have a blood test done on a cruise. So we can save this. As we come down here, it says save to note. If I click this, it's going to save to note over here. There's another feature. Let's go over to what I call the magic sauce over on the right hand side, because we have reports. So we can now create reports. Let's just click this report and see what it's going to do. So now this may or may not apply to what we want because we're looking for information about disability and traveling. But here's some suggested formats: a destination guide, an explanatory article, a travel narrative. You can have different formats created, or a briefing doc. So let's do a briefing doc about the topic that we wanted. All right. So I'm going to click this, and it's going to now, it's going to it's going to go to all this information on the left-hand side, and it's going to create a more elaborate document that we can use to go over all the information that I've requested. Okay, let's have a look at the document. It now is a briefing document on cruise line accessibility going to Alaska. Let's click this and see what happens. So when we bring this up, you'll see that it's a fairly extensive document here. As we come down, cruise line accessibility provisions, and it comes on, and all the information that we need to get safely on the cruise. It talks about cruise specifications for each one, special guest needs forms, all the gangway and water shuttles, physical limitations and safety, ports requiring water shuttles. It outlines the regions and the ports, and also individual cruise lines for the Alaska offering. So it's all the information here, and you can copy and paste this. Lots of information here. You could copy and paste this into a document. You could send it to your friends if you're traveling with some people. It's all just here for you. So you get the idea. The reporting feature is limitless. You can ask it to report on anything you want, and certainly you have all the data already on your computer right within this Notebook LM document that you've created. So it's all there for you, so you can try different things. Let's look at a few more things you can do. Let's come back. All right, let's come back to this. One of the things that we can do is let's talk a little bit about the magic sauce on the right-hand side here. If you wanted an audio overview, if you wanted this to be an audio form, maybe you have visual problems, if you click this, it will create an audio, like a podcast of this document. The video will create a 7-minute video about this, and we're going to try this. I'm going to show you what it will do. We can create a mind map. We've sort of talked about the reporting feature. Again, this is really limitless. You can make all sorts of reports that you want. If you want to use it, you can even create a quiz. If you're traveling and you want to, maybe you're a tour director, you can even create a quiz for your customers, or flashcards if you want to practice this. Maybe you're going to be taking applications for a job and you need to know this. You can make up some flashcards. So let's have a look at the video overview in a minute here and see how this works.
All right, let's talk about something amazing, making that dream cruise vacation a reality for everyone. This is your guide to cruising with confidence, turning any potential hurdles into a totally empowering adventure on the high seas. Just imagine it for a second. You're sailing through these calm, icy waters in Alaska. You've got massive glaciers towering all around you, the sun setting in this incredible burst of color over the mountains. I mean, this is the stuff of bucket lists, right? It's a true once-in-a-lifetime kind of adventure. So how do we get you there? How do we make that dream a reality? Well, the great news is, with just a little bit of planning, it's more than possible. It's actually a fantastic way to travel.
So it's just that simple. And if you want to watch the whole video, we'll probably be playing it at a future episode on Tech for Senior. I'll put the link down below. But you too could make a video like that. It's super easy. Just hit the button like I showed you. Well, that's using Notebook LM for travel, episode number 1, or video number 1. Hope you'll come back and see us again, and I'll have video number 2 for you. But I will send you a personal invite if you just click that notification, and then we'll notify you when our second video in this series is available. Probably, I think, in about a week's time. Have a great day and enjoy your travel. It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. We'll see you soon. All right, Hewie, you're up.
Hey, just give me a second to get set up here.
Huey's going to be talking about a guide, Zoom meeting guide for seniors.
Right. I thought that, a good many of us don't know all the new things that they've added, but also we may know some people that we might want to invite to join us here on Tech for Senior, but they don't know how to use Zoom. So this might help them. Zoom meeting guide for seniors. I'm Hewie Poplock. Welcome everyone to today's comprehensive guide on mastering Zoom's menu bar and AI features. This presentation is specifically designed for senior users who want to become more confident and comfortable using Zoom in their meetings, family calls, and social connections. We'll explore every aspect of Zoom's interface in a clear, step-by-step manner, ensuring you leave with the knowledge and confidence to navigate Zoom like a pro. We'll also introduce you to Zoom's exciting AI companion features that can make your meeting experience even more enjoyable and productive. Here's what we'll cover. First, we'll start with understanding Zoom's interface, where you'll learn how the main window is organized and where to find everything you need. Next, we'll get into the menu bar overview, exploring each button and control in detail. Then we'll cover essential controls, including audio, video, chat, and screen sharing features that you'll use most frequently. After that, we'll introduce you to Zoom's AI companion features, which are revolutionary tools that can summarize meetings, help with chat responses, and make your Zoom experience much more smoother. When you join a Zoom meeting, you'll see an intuitive interface. The main window shows participants' video feeds, while the control toolbar at the bottom lets you manage your microphone, camera, chat, screen sharing, and more. The toolbar may hide after a few seconds, but reappears when you move your mouse, depending upon your settings. The participants list and chat panel may appear on the right or in separate windows. Everything is designed to be just a click away, and we'll explore each feature in detail during this presentation. On the bottom toolbar is your command center in Zoom. On the left are the mute, unmute, and start and stop video buttons, the most used for controlling your mic and camera. The security button, a shield icon, which may also be at the top right of your screen, gives hosts a safety controls. A participants button shows who's in the meeting, and while chat opens a panel for messaging individuals or everyone. Share screen lets you present your screen. Record saves the meeting. And reactions allow quick responses like thumbs up, applause, or raising your hand. Managing audio and video is key to a smooth Zoom experience. The microphone button at the bottom left controls your audio. No line means you're unmuted. A red line means you're muted. Stay muted when not speaking to avoid background noise. And use the arrow for settings like testing your mic or switching devices. The camera button works the same way. No line means your video is on. A red line means it's off. The arrow opens options to test your camera, switch between cameras, and adjust settings like brightness and contrast. Raised a hand when people join or leave. Chat lets you communicate without interrupting the speaker, send messages to everyone, or privately to individuals. Just click chat, type in the box, and press enter. You can also share files with the attachment icon. Keep in mind that the public chat is visible to all, while private messages are only seen by you and the recipient. Screen sharing lets you show photos, documents, or software from your computer. Click Share Screen and choose your whole screen, a specific app, or just part of it. When someone else shares, their content appears in the main window while participant videos may move aside. Recording is also useful for reviewing later or sharing with absentees. Hosts can start recording with the record button, which captures audio, video, screen sharing, and chat. Recordings are saved either on your computer or in the cloud, depending upon your settings. Zoom gives you several ways to view participants. Speaker's View highlights the active speaker, ideal for presentations. Gallery View shows everyone in a grid, great for social or group meetings. Multi-Speaker View highlights up to 4 people talking at once, while Immersive View places participants in a shared virtual background, like sitting around a table. You can switch views from the View menu in the top toolbar or the options in the top right corner of your meeting window. Zoom's reaction lets you engage without interrupting. The reactions button on the bottom toolbar gives you quick emoji options like thumbs up, clapping, or hearts, which appear briefly over your video. The raise hand feature signals to the host that you would like to speak, especially helpful in large meetings. You can also rename yourself, add virtual backgrounds, or use appearance filters to enhance video quality. Zoom's AI companion acts like a smart assistant to making meetings smoother. It can generate summaries so you don't need detailed notes, suggest clearer chat responses, and provide real-time transcriptions for easier follow along or review. It also learns from your meeting pattern, helpful to prepare by suggesting agenda, items, and materials based on past discussions. Zoom's AI companion acts like a smart assistant to make meetings smoother. It can generate summaries so you don't need detailed notes, suggest clearer chat responses, and provide real-time transaction for easy follow along or review. It also learns from your meeting patterns, helping you prepare by suggesting agenda items or meetings based on past discussions. Zoom is rolling out new AI that further streamlines meetings. Enhanced transcription aims for more accurate speech to text across accents and languages with clearer and cleaner formatting. Smart Meeting Insights will suggest better meeting times, surface recurring topics, and offer tips to improve effectiveness. Automated assistants will handle scheduling across participants, send follow-up reminders for action items, and suggest the right people for specific discussions. To stay current, keep Zoom updated, and watch in-app notifications, and subscribe to Zoom's newsletter. Security and privacy are paramount when using Zoom, and the platform provides several features to keep your meeting safe and private. While waiting rooms act as a virtual lobby where participants wait before being admitted to the meeting, giving the host control over who joins and when. This prevents uninvited guests from disrupting your meetings. Meeting passwords provide an additional layer of security, requiring participants to enter a password before joining the meeting. These passwords can be automatically included in meeting invitations or shared separately for added security. Host controls give meeting organizers powerful tools to manage their meetings, including the ability to mute and unmute participants, remove disruptive attendees, lock meetings once everyone has joined, and control who can share their screen or use chat features. Privacy best practices includes being cautious about sharing meeting links publicly, using waiting rooms for sensitive meetings, regularly updating your Zoom application to ensure you have the latest security features, and being mindful of what's visible in your background when your camera is on. Even with good technology, issues can arise in Zoom. For audio, if others can't hear you, check that you're unmuted, the right mic is selected, and try rejoining. If you can't hear others, check your volume, connections, and test your audio settings. For video, make sure your camera isn't blocked or in use by another app or outdated, and restart Zoom if needed. For connection problems like poor quality or drops, check your internet speed, close bandwidth heavy apps, move closer to your router, or use a wired connection. Welcome to our exploration of Zoom's More menu, which contains several additional features which can enhance your meeting experience. When you click on the More button, your Zoom toolbar you will discover a variety of useful tools that we'll walk you through today. First, let's discuss the transcript feature. This powerful tool automatically creates a written record of everything said during your meeting. Think of it as having a personal secretary taking notes for you. The transcript appears in real time, making it easier to follow along if you've missed something or need to review what was discussed later. This is particularly helpful for seniors who may want to reference important items and information after the meeting ends. Next, we have polls and quizzes, which are interactive features that meeting hosts can use to engage participants. If you're attending a meeting where the host creates a poll, you'll see questions appear on your screen that you can answer with simple clicks. These might ask for your opinion on a topic or test your understanding of presented material. Don't worry if you see one pop up. They're designed to be user-friendly and optional to participate in. The Docs feature allows you to access and collaborate on documents directly with your Zoom meeting. This means you can view, edit, and comment on shared documents without leaving the meeting window. It's like having a digital workspace where everyone can contribute to the same document simultaneously, making collaboration seamless and efficient. Whiteboard is Zoom's digital drawing and brainstorming tool. Imagine having a large whiteboard where multiple people can write, draw, or add sticky notes at the same time. This feature is excellent for visual learners and creative sessions where ideas need to be sketched out or organized visually. You can use simple drawing tools, add text, or insert shapes to express your ideas. The live stream option allows meeting hosts to broadcast their Zoom session to perform like Facebook Live or YouTube. As a participant, you typically won't need to worry about this feature, but it's good to know that some meetings might be streamed to a wider audience. Hosts will always inform participants when live streaming is active. Meeting Info provides you with the essential details about your current session. This includes the meeting ID, dial-in numbers for phone participants, and other technical information you might need. It's particularly useful if you need to help someone else join the meeting or if you want to save the meeting details for future reference. The Reset to Default option is a helpful troubleshoot tool that returns your Zoom toolbar to its original layout. If you accidentally moved buttons around or hidden important features, this option will restore everything to the standard configuration that you're familiar with. Finally, Drag to Reorder toolbar is a customization feature that allows you to rearrange the buttons in your Zoom toolbar according to your preferences. You can move frequently used features closer to the center or hide options you rarely use. However, as you're learning Zoom, I recommend keeping the default layout until you become more comfortable with the features. Remember, these additional features are in the More menu and are designed to enhance your Zoom experience, but they're optional. Focus on mastering the basic controls first, then gradually explore these advanced features as you become more confident with the platform. Congratulations! You've completed this guide to Zoom's menu bar and AI features. Now you know how to manage audio and video use chat, share screens, record meetings, adjust views, engage with reactions and AI tools. Like any technology, Zoom gets easier with practice, so try features in test meetings or in casual calls. If you run into issues, Zoom's help, resources, tutorials, and support are always available. With patience and practice, you'll soon use Zoom confidently and with ease. Zoom Meeting Guide for Seniors. I'm Hewie Poplock. Just a reminder of some of the things that you may already know, but you might want to pass on to other people. Maybe some things you just have passed over because they've been added to Zoom and you're not using them, never have, and always wondered what they would do. So there you go.
Thanks, Hewie. Thanks a lot. Now, if you didn't get 100% on the quiz, Saturday's quiz in the newsletter, this is the tutorial video for you. You should watch this video if you are over 60 and concerned about your health. You should watch this video if you've heard about ECG on smartwatches but don't really understand it. You should watch this video if you find terminology like cardiac arrhythmia and atrial fibrillation confusing, because I'm going to explain it in layman's terms. And you should definitely watch this video if you have atrial fibrillation. You go to try it on a smartwatch and the app tells you it won't work if you have atrial fibrillation. I'll explain that for you today as well. It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior, where we help seniors understand technology and help them with their health. Today we're going to talk about ECG feature on a smartwatch. I'm a retired physician who looked after seniors for about 35 years. I retired before smartwatches were available, and when this ECG feature came along, I was so excited because I thought this is a big deal, and I sure wish we had had it when I was practicing because it would have saved a lot of strokes. So let me explain today how this works and why this is so important if you are over the age of 60. This video is made to provide you with more information. If you have any personal health concerns, you should seek advice from your healthcare provider. I personally own a Pixel 6 phone. I have a Galaxy 4 and Fitbit Sense watch. These were purchased with my own money and in no way represents any sponsorship from any organization. Because of this, we would sure appreciate it that like and subscribe. A lot of work goes into making these videos, so we would really appreciate that like and subscribe. Now, for those of you who have signed in because you have atrial fibrillation and you're wondering what you're going to do, I put a timestamp in the link and you can go right to the end of the video and I'll explain that. We'd sure appreciate you to watch the whole video, but if you're in a hurry, just click to the end and I'll explain how we can help you. I'm just going to put a pause in the video for a moment. I recorded this session earlier this year, and since that time, I've updated my hardware. I have a Pixel 8 Pro and a Fitbit Charge 6 for my watch. Now, the reason I want to mention it now is because the Fitbit Charge 6 is an excellent choice if you want cardiac monitoring. It has all the advanced features on it that the 3 times the price Pixel watch has. So this is a great buy. The usual price is $149 for the Fitbit Charge 6. Now we are moving into Black Friday and Christmas sales. So this watch, the Fitbit Charge 6, often goes on sale for $99. Yes, $50 off. So you'll be able to get the Fitbit Charge 6 with all the advanced monitoring that the Pixel watch has for $99. It is a great deal. Now, if you're in Canada, this watch now is about $210 and likely will go on sale for around 150 Canadian. Excellent value. It does all the irregular heart rate notification and all the things I talk about in this video. Let's get back to the video now. So the 4 watches that have the ECG FDA approved feature are, of course, the Apple Watch, the Fitbit Watch, the Galaxy Watch series from Samsung, from the Galaxy 4 watch and up, and of course Google's new Pixel watch. Please don't buy watches from cheap imports. It's not worth your health. So part of these two large studies, the Fitbit and the Apple study that was done, was not just on the ECG app, but it was on the next feature that came out, and that's called a regular heart rate notification. And what happens here, and the watch monitors your heart rate in the background and will tell you if you have a bout of atrial fibrillation. Wow, this is a big game changer, because no longer do you actually have to put your finger on the watch and do an ECG. It's going to passively monitor as you're going around your daily activity looking for atrial fibrillation. This was a huge feature that came out. And of course, Apple had it first. So they initiated the irregular heart rate notification into their software, and it's available today. It's easy to turn on in the app. Now, Fitbit followed suit with this. And the great thing about Fitbit was this feature had been available in a lot of their models, a lot of their older models, the Fitbit Versa and some of the older machines that they had. It worked. The sensors were all in the watches. So if you have an older device, just make sure the Fitbit app is updated on your phone and see if you can turn it on. It's most likely you can. So this is called irregular heart rate notification. So because all these devices are linked from your phone to your watch, the app sits on your phone. So when you go to initiate the irregular heart rate notification on your phone, the first thing it's going to say, are you 19 or above in age? So why would this be? Well, none of the clinical trials were done with people under the age of 19, so we have no idea if it works. Also, children have much smaller wrists on them. The size is different, so the technology may not work. We just don't know. That's why the exclusion from age 19 or below. The second part is, it says, do you have atrial fibrillation? Remember those people at the beginning of the video I said, go right to the end? Well, this is exactly the problem, is if you have atrial fibrillation, you're excluded from using this app. Now, why is that so? Well, I haven't been totally honest with you here in that the irregular heart rate notification doesn't completely monitor your heart all the time. Remember when you were doing that ECG with your two fingers on your watch? Well, you had to sit back and be quiet while you were doing that. The sensors on these watches have trouble picking up atrial fibrillation when you're moving and you're moving around. So they really want to do the testing when you're at rest. And when are you at rest the most? That's when you're sleeping. And that's why all these devices need to be worn when you're sleeping. So when I say that irregular heart rate notification monitors you, it does, but it monitors you periodically when you're at rest, not continually. So if you had atrial fibrillation and we wanted to know how many times a day you were in atrial fibrillation and things like that, it wouldn't measure that because it's not continuously monitoring it. So if you're under the age of 19 or you do have atrial fibrillation, then you won't be using this technology, and I'm going to explain next what is available for you. So it was 2015 when Apple brought in their first smartwatch. They then released the ECG app in 2018 with their Apple Watch 4. Now, the technology on the ECG app had been available for some time before the Apple Watch, and that was developed by a company called 𝕤𝕗𝕄𝕗, and they partnered with Apple for the first ECG app on a smartwatch. This was very popular, and Apple announced that it was now theirs. There was a big court battle, and the big guys won as to be expected, and of course the rest is history. So what is the value of the ecg app? All the things that we're going to talk about regarding the ecg app, irregular heart rate notification, all the cardiac features on a smartwatch are available only for one purpose and one purpose only, and that's to identify folks who don't know they have atrial fibrillation. The ECG feature is not going to tell you if you're having a heart attack. It's not going to call an ambulance. It doesn't do anything like the ECG that we have in the hospital. It only has one specific purpose, and that's to find those folks that have atrial fibrillation and a higher risk of stroke and get them help. And that's basically what it is. So let me explain why that's so important. So if you read the literature from the watch companies, they talk about a cardiac arrhythmia and atrial fibrillation. What the heck does that mean? So a cardiac arrhythmia is simply an irregular heartbeat, and there are many different types of cardiac arrhythmias. Atrial fibrillation is a specific type of cardiac arrhythmia. And that is what we're looking for and want to treat it because it's common and a major side effect is stroke. So we want to find those folks and get them treatment. Now the other terminology they used is ECG and EKG. This can be confusing. They are exactly the same thing. ECG is the same as EKG. Now if you look at the graph behind me, you will see the incidence of atrial fibrillation after the age of 60. And you'll be shocked when you see that it goes up not linearly, but it goes up exponentially. And that means as we get older, the chances of you getting atrial fibrillation is extremely high, particularly in your 70s and 80s. In fact, if you get to 80, there is a big chance that you will have episodes of atrial fibrillation. So what's the big deal about that? Why is that so bad? Well, one of the big side effects of atrial fibrillation is stroke. And people often don't know they have atrial fibrillation. It causes a stroke. So if we could figure out who those people are, we can get them help and prevent it. I thought back on my own practice and all those people I saw with terrible strokes, and I could have prevented it if I knew they had atrial fibrillation before they came in. But we just didn't have this amazing feature back when I was practicing medicine. And that's why I believe with the bottom of my heart, everybody over the age of 60 should be wearing one of these devices we'll talk about today to prevent this very disabling condition. So what the ECG app does is it actually will tell you if you have atrial fibrillation. You may feel some fluttering in your chest, you may feel some palpitations, and you do the ECG app on your watch, and the ECG app analyzes this and says you do or do not have atrial fibrillation. Now, of course, what you're going to say, Ron, if you don't have any symptoms, why would you do the ECG? And that was part of the problem with the initial ECG app because you actually had to have some symptoms. You actually had to sit down, rest, and actually put your finger on the watch and do an ECG. Now, irregular heart rate notification just got better. You know who? Yes, Apple did it. They have improved the sensitivity of the sensors and software in their watches, and now don't just do random assessment, it's continuous monitoring. Yes, continuous monitoring looking for atrial fibrillation. What does that mean? It means you folks who have atrial fibrillation can now use the Apple Watch. And there's a feature on the Apple Watch called atrial fibrillation history. You can enroll in that. You have to have atrial fibrillation, and now it's going to track and tell how long you were in atrial fibrillation, how many periods of atrial fibrillation you have in a day, and what are some of the aggravating and relieving factors. All this information is not so important to you, but is a big help for your healthcare provider in trying to determine what type of treatment that you need or how the treatment is working. So this is a very big deal for you folks who have atrial fibrillation, and this is only available on the Apple Watch. It's called Atrial Fibrillation History, and it is easy to turn on in the Apple Health app. Now, if you don't have atrial fibrillation, then you're just going to turn on the irregular heart rate notification in the Health app. So in summary, this is, I think, life-saving. We can help all those folks who are going to get atrial fibrillation because we can pick these up earlier and get them help. It's done by using the ECG app on your watch. We now have irregular heart rate notification where it's going to monitor your heart, and if you do have periods of atrial fibrillation, it's going to pick it up and say, hey, get some help. And for those folks who do have atrial fibrillation, as long as you have an Apple product, you can now monitor your atrial fibrillation and see how the medication and treatment is working. It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. Hopefully you've enjoyed watching this video. We'd sure appreciate that like and subscribe. And until we see you again, have a great day. And wear your watch. Don't forget to wear your watch. Bye now. All right. We have a special presentation by Mike Leaman now. So before Mike gets into it, just want to remind everybody, if you're watching over on our live stream, that if you want to come over and participate in the Q&A, maybe you've got some questions, just pop over and we've got lots of room for you. Mike, I'm just going to turn off the live stream. Take it away.
Okay, well, I'm just going to cue this up a little bit. Back when I was growing up, there was a real thing about Sunday evenings at our home. You didn't mess with the TV on Sunday night. There were three things. Number one was Bonanza. Number two was Wonderful World of Disney. And number three is the artist that we're, not really artist, but the personality we're going to feature in this. And then we'll have a couple of different music clips at the end. But I'm going to let Ron play the clip here and you can see what an impact this particular person has had on entertainment in our lifetimes. This segment this week is a person that probably had the biggest impact on the music and entertainment industry in the 1950s and 60s.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're talking about a guy who was, let's be honest, famously uncomfortable on camera. And yet, for more than 2 decades, he hosted what was arguably the single most important stage in all of American culture.
Okay, so let's just dive right into this paradox, right? How on earth did the notoriously wooden Ed Sullivan, a man critics just loved to tear apart for his awkward presence, create a show that completely defined a generation and brought the entire country together every single Sunday night?
Well, the secret really began with Sullivan's off-camera genius. You see, while he might have been stiff in the spotlight, behind the scenes, he was this brilliant talent scout. He had an incredible eye, and he built his show on a pretty revolutionary idea: create a format that brought the whole family to the television set. Sullivan's show, which actually started out as Toast of the Town, was the perfect example of what people were calling vaudeville. It was basically this wild, eclectic mashup of highbrow culture and popular entertainment. A live vaudeville spectacle beamed directly into living rooms all across America. And you can see his something for everyone formula at work right from day one. I mean, just look at this first lineup. You've got comedy legends right next to Broadway composers, classical artists, and yep, a troupe of singing firemen. It truly was the definition of variety. And you know what? This formula didn't just last, it absolutely thrived. It created a Sunday night institution that ran for 23 years, shaping American culture through these massive shared moments that everyone was talking about the next day. That formula was powerful for sure, but where the show became a true cultural force was when Sullivan put his finger directly on the pulse of a new, rebellious generation. He gave the sounds of this youthquake a national stage, and frankly, it didn't really matter if he personally liked the music or not.
First up, Elvis Presley. And what's funny is, Sullivan had initially called him unfit for a family audience. But, he couldn't ignore the buzz. Elvis's appearance was a cultural explosion, capturing a record-breaking television audience that was just staggering. And to put that number into perspective, it wasn't just a big audience. It was nearly everyone in America with a TV. 82.6% of all televisions that were turned on were tuned to his show. That is a level of cultural dominance that's almost impossible to even imagine today.
Then, 8 years later, he did it all over again. When the Beatles stepped onto his stage, an estimated 73 million people were watching. This was the moment that officially launched the British invasion and created another one of those defining cultural moments that just changed music forever. But booking Rebels came with a lot of conflict. Sullivan's stage often became this battleground between the corporate censors who wanted safe, family-friendly TV and the artists themselves who, well, refused to compromise their vision.
So take rock and roll pioneer Bo Diddley, for instance. In 1955, Sullivan asked him to sing the popular hit 16 Tons. Instead, Diddley just launched right into his own self-titled song, Bo Diddley. Sullivan was so furious, he banned him from the show for life.
Then you have Bob Dylan in 1963. He was all set to perform this satirical song that poked fun at the anti-communist paranoia of the time. Sullivan himself had actually approved it, but literally moments before they went live, a network executive stepped in and censored the performance. And Dylan's response? It perfectly captured this tension. Instead of picking another song or changing the lyrics, he just walked off the set. Simple as that. He refused to compromise, and that single act just amplified his growing reputation as the uncompromising voice of his generation. But as huge as rock and roll was, Sullivan's most profound legacy might not have been about music at all. It might have been his quiet, but absolutely unshakable courage in the fight for civil rights, using his massive platform to push back against the segregation of his time. You know, when Southern sponsors threatened to pull their advertising because he was booking too many black artists, or for simple acts of respect like shaking Nat King Cole's hand, this was Sullivan's powerful, simple response. He just refused to back down. And he backed it up week after week. He used his stage to introduce a national, often segregated audience to a staggering array of black talent. We're talking Motown legends, jazz icons, comedians, athletes, even civil rights leaders. He presented them all with dignity and put their talent front and center for everyone to see. And Sullivan's stance really stood in stark contrast to the rest of the industry. I mean, this was painfully highlighted when the brilliant Nat King Cole became the first African-American to host his own network variety show, only to see it canceled because not a single national sponsor would sign on. Cole's remark just perfectly captured the bigotry Sullivan was fighting against. So through all of it, the rock rebellion, the battles with the censors, the fight for diversity, an appearance on Sullivan's stage became the single most effective launchpad in the history of entertainment. It was the place to be. Just take a look at this list. The number of comedians and entertainers who went from being guests on his stage to hosting their own iconic television shows is just a testament to his incredible influence as a kingmaker. He didn't just reflect the culture, he was actively creating it. So, in the end, this awkward, unlikely host curated America's cultural conversations for 23 straight years. He created a shared experience, like a national campfire that everyone gathered around. And it leaves us with a question for our own much more fragmented time. In a world of infinite channels and personalized feeds, could one stage ever truly unite us like that again?
Over the years, and it's hard. I mean, there are tons and tons of clips you could watch. Thankfully, they're preserved on YouTube, and we get to enjoy them again today. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this troll back through history and looking at the Ed Sullivan Show.
Thanks so much, Mike. That's great. As we move into our Q&A now, I just want to say goodbye to everybody. If you have to take off, don't forget, we do have our premiere video coming up at hour. Chris will be talking about how to make movies with Google Photos. Of course, we'll be replaying the cardiac monitoring one you just saw today, if you want to listen to it again. And also, Hewie's going to talk about how to create a YouTube playlist. Don't forget, this Thursday, we will be going over all the tech news of the week. Lots of interesting things happening this week. So drop by on Thursday and have a look, and it's a lot of fun. And if you have trouble finding the link or you can't figure it out, it's now just on our website. Just click in the newsletter area and you'll see you can actually watch it on our website. All right.